clown nurses. How you doing today? I was going to post this episode of This Week in Comics on Saturday, maybe at the earliest Friday, but I caught like the worst cold I've had in a couple of years this past week, and I've been a little dragging ass, frankly. Oh boy. I have to confess to you, I've been exhausted and hopped up on soup and goofballs, and trying to do my best with my daily activities, and that's been a little tough. But I'm kind of back. I'm feeling a little bit better today. So we're going to be discussing This Week in Comics, and this week I picked up Avengers 22, Steven Universe 30, Marvel Team Up featuring Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel. This issue's issue 4. And Fantastic Four number 12. And let's get into Fantastic Four first, shall we? Alright, this is from Dan Slott, and who's the artist on this? Sean Izakis? And hey, Ben Grimm and Alicia hasn't had a proper honeymoon, and just happens to be the annual period where he loses his powers temporarily. Frankly, I don't know how Ben Grimm's thing power works anymore. I think right now they're talking about it temporarily, like, loses the power. I guess he regenerates it, which is kind of cool. That's helpful for him. So for a limited time, he reverts back to his normal human self. And hey, what a good time for that to happen. So he and Alicia are going to go off and have fun. And the dialogue is spot on and hilarious as always. Like he asks, Alicia asks Val to take care of her cats, and she goes, "Yeah, don't worry about it." And she goes, "You're not going to build a machine to take care of the cats." And she goes, "No." Then she quickly asks Franklin to take care of the cats. And he goes, "Oh, I'm on it." And of course, Johnny Storm tells him, like, "Don't do anything I wouldn't do." And Ben says, "What? Marry a Skrull?" Burns. Okay. So anyway, they go, and it's just, fun. They hit, what is this? Remote island hidden away in the tropics. I love Ben Grimm. Like, he gives signed autographs of himself as a tip. But meanwhile, there's this thing heading towards the island, and it's like knocking over boats, and it's scary. And Ben and Alicia have this lovely little scene together where she tells him, like, "Hey, your ring doesn't revert back with you, right? It's set for your body type." And he goes, "Yeah, that's right." And she goes, "Well, why don't you marry me, Ben Grimm?" And like gives him a ring for his human self in a really sweet moment, which is disturbed by the immortal Hulk. Hey. Hulk's really scary right now, and this is a bad time for him to show up. Very bad time. He's about to revert back to human, and the Hulk, at probably his most powerful, just shows up to kill him. But it's not the Hulk, it's the friggin' Puppet Master. He's escaped, and he has taken over the Hulk, and he sicks him on him. And I don't think Ben realizes during this fight, a really cool fight sequence. I never get tired of Thing and Hulk fights, and this is absolutely wonderful. It has a great cliffhanger as Ben's counter clock for turning back to human is about to go off, and he goes to face him. Oh man, this is good stuff. Great book. There's also a backup featuring a kind of hint at the Future Foundation. It's kind of like a prologue to the upcoming Future Foundation series. It's a cute piece with Julie Power focused on them and what they're going on. It's kind of going to be a spin-off, sort of the Power Pack and the previous Future Foundation stuff. So interesting. Love this book. 5 out of 5 Ram Chips. I absolutely agree that this is the world's greatest comic magazine currently, right now. Dan Slott's doing an excellent job with this book. Absolutely love it. great issue. If you're curious about jumping on to Fantastic Four again, yeah, you should do it. It's really good. All right, let's go over to Marvel Team Up, and this is issue 4. And essentially, they're going to be doing rotating teams instead of one team on the book, like the old classic Marvel Team Up, which tried to do, the pretty typical thing. Chris Claremont worked on Marvel Team Up for a good long while. Anyway, this arc is being done by Clint McElroy and let's see, I.G. Guerrera. I've never seen Guerrera's work before, but I really dig the nice expressions throughout the series. They have nice, unique looks to the characters. You know who they are when you see them, and they have nice little interactions and not stiff face. And they also handle the action sequences really nicely, including these old kind of classic Kirby-esque, classic Marvel-looking guys. Really nice work. The story also is really fun. I gotta say, I'm really happy that the first 2 arcs in this Miss Marvel-led Marvel Team-Up has her teaming up with the heroes I really like seeing her with. Like Spider-Man, first off, which is a natural idea because he was the host of the last classic version of this series, and Captain Marvel, which, I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised. I don't see them teamed up enough, frankly. And I really like the rapport, and I just can't get enough of the whole hero and protege who's a fan of the hero kind of relationship that they have, and I kind of would like to see that more. They kind of start investigating the series of thefts that are happening at damage control warehouses. Somebody's stealing Kree stuff, and that matters a lot to them because they both have a lot invested in what goes on with the Kree. So they start investigating. Unfortunately, Kamala has been recently grounded for all her times of sneaking out at night. So that's when Carol decides to use her trump card and hey, I'm super important here, and I want to bring Kamala on as an intern. And the middle part of the issue deals with that scene, and actually it's really nice. I like the interplay on that. It's really well crafted and well written. I like it quite a bit, and I enjoy seeing, like I mentioned, I enjoy seeing them together in this issue a lot, and I enjoy seeing them play off each other. Of course, we get to a really cool battle sequence with them fighting some classic-looking Marvel villains, and we get tipped off at the end with a really cool cliffhanger of who's behind it. And the cover kind of suggests, but I'll let you kind of check out the book yourself and be surprised. But it's quite an interesting mystery they've started with this issue. I don't know if this is going to be 3 to 5 issues. I'm not sure what the plan is on this arc, but I'm really looking forward to more of this. Excellent work. It'd be nice if this team stayed on. I could go for them, but I kind of do like the idea of rotating teams on the Marvel Team Up book. That's actually a pretty cool idea, too. All right, all in all, I'm going to give this... man, I really like this, too. I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 ramp chips. Now, on the way to other Marvel titles, I don't know what I'm saying. Let's take a break from Marvel and jump over to Steven Universe. Steven Universe issue 30, and this is from Sarah Gailey, and who's the artist on this? Have to excuse me, Rib Ruggiero? I apologize, I know that's probably not correct. This is a nice one-and-done character issue. Gorgeous art, by the way. The Crystal Gems have taken out a gem monster, which unfortunately has taken out the water tower, which didn't seem to have water in it. But hey, it's a big mess anyway. And we get to take a peek at what happens when they cause a lot of battle damage. Yeah, the town kind of gets together as a community, but the gems kind of lead the repair. They're not like those jerks of the Avengers and just say, hey, thanks a lot, we'll be getting out of here. It's not what they do. And particularly Pearl. Pearl gets really obsessed with finishing this project. So much so that she doesn't leave. She doesn't take any breaks. She doesn't go away. She just gets really frazzled about it, and it's her obsessive compulsiveness that seems to be taking over here. Steven is able to get her away and kind of like go to like this little party that was kind of celebrating the repair work. And there's some really sweet moments of her dancing with Stefani here. But that actually didn't seem to solve the problem. She went right back to it and actually feeling worse because she took time off. And this is a really sweet story, the way it kind of like the usual way of like coming together about understanding and dealing with each other. Really good issue. I've been enjoying the Steven Universe comics a little bit more lately. They've been putting together some really good stuff that feels right into the series and still have their own kind of creative juices going that feels like unique to it itself. 4 out of 5 RAM chips. Dug this one quite a bit. Now let's go back to Marvel, and we're going to pick up issue 22 of Avengers. And that's by Jason Aaron. And who's the artist on this one? It is Stefano Caselli. And by the way, Caselli's art is gorgeous on this. Really nice work. The Avengers book has been looking great from issue 1, but this one is really nicely detailed. It deals with Robbie Reyes, the current Ghost Rider, where his Hell Charger has kind of turned against him, nearly killing him and his brother. And the first thing he does is try to destroy it, but that doesn't work, of course. So he goes to the Avengers, like, hey, take advantage of the fact that you're an Avenger, man. Go to the people who know this shit. And it's rather funny, because they have, like, he gets in this conversation, like, I know this stuff sounds silly. And they're telling him, like, look, we've kind of been there. Carol has this funny line about, you should check my Wikipedia page. It is nuts. So that's when Blade, who calls in what he considers the expert, Damien Hellstorm, who has shaved his head. He has this kind of like John Malkovich look going on right now. And meanwhile, in Turkey, Okoye calls in some of the other Avengers, Thor, Iron Man, She-Hulk, because her people, some Wakandan miners, have found this really interesting crap here. It's an Iron Man helmet that goes back to the Stone Age. It's fossilized metal and stuff like that. And they're like, okay, that's weird. Also, the miners like ran out while working on. They haven't been able to talk about what they saw. There was something terrible that they encountered. So that might be a separate story arc leading into probably the thing that's following the Ghost Rider stories. Anyway, we take a trip to Hell. And that's when Robbie runs into Johnny Blaze. This is cool. From what I understand, we're going to be seeing quite a bit of the other Ghost Riders in this, and maybe get some good, strong Ghost Rider lore, which is always cool. It's not really a Ghost Rider series going on, I guess, unless you count the cosmic one that's going on, but not any of the main Ghost Rider characters. So, boom, here you go. Great issue. 5 out of 5 RAM chips. Really enjoyed this one a lot. Jason Aaron has really been turning on. I don't think I've had like a issue that I've not enjoyed from this 22 issues he's been on. Yeah, there hasn't been a dud in this line so far. Great book. I am going to pick a comic of the week, and I'd say my comic of the week was Fantastic Four number 12. I laughed a lot at this. Great story. Hulk versus Thing. I mean, you can't go wrong. Really good. This is the one you definitely should pick up. Alright, I have some more stuff going on later this week. I have a video about the MCU, the Infinity Saga. I'm going to do a video about my choices of the films from worst to best. Also, I have a review of the newest Captain Marvel. I think it's issue 8. I slept on that when it came out, and I'm actually going to do a separate review about that because I think it's really worth talking about. And also like I mentioned, the Red Knight relaunch was successful. I'm right now, for you backers watching, I'm collecting the backer surveys. So if you haven't filled one out, please do so. And also, hey, you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook. You can support this channel through Patreon. I'm also on Instagram. And you can let me know here by clicking the like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. You can also tell me if you liked any of these issues, or what did you read this week that you thought was worth talking about. Let me know. So, I think we're done, and I'm going to go back to being sick. Push the button, Lindsay.
They don't play the song on the radio. They don't show that it's on the radio. They don't know that we are the media. They don't know that we start the media. I don't want to see what I'm making you. I see something, seat and I'm shaking you.